Alright guys, we are back for another Dokkan battle video. So, what we're doing here is, I just have seen a lot of talk about LR Beast Gohan. You know, kind of like, oh, like he's good, but then there's characters that could do this and characters that could do that. But I just kind of figured it will be very easy to just show this point. I mean, I guess this is not really completely about LR Beast Gohan though, but more so just the unbelievable dominance of the Dragon Ball Super category, like the superhero category. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna go through all of the hardest fights in the game, and we're gonna clear it. No item, no support memory, full auto, and we're gonna torch every single tough fight, all the boogeymen. Oh, this boss, you know, Gogeta Blue is so scary. Cell Max is so scary. You know, Trunks, Kid Buu. We're going to take all of these fights down full auto, just using the superhero category and nothing more. So, again, in every single run we use here, we are just using double Beast Gohan superhero. That's really the only restriction I have on it, right? So, Beast Gohan, of course, can bring some other categories onto his leader skill, but we're sticking strictly just the superhero. So we are going to see, that's another thing that's so good about superhero is, besides kind of like the top best options, you know, we do have a roster of characters that we could fill out in any given fight. Now, because we're doing full auto, this is not anything, I really have no effect on this besides, you know, my characters being maxed out, having good builds on a lot of my characters, which factors in here and there. And then, of course, you know, just like what team I'm choosing to run. Again, obviously, we're not using items. We can't, since it's you know, an auto run. You could use a support memory for this, but I do consider a support memory, like, the whole thing with items is they're kind of like an external help, like an external crutch to use to cover up characters' weaknesses. And I kind of view the support memory as the same thing. So, of course, we're not using a support memory for this. And a support memory would, in fact, have a monstrous effect here. A lot of people do kind of, you know, underrate, I guess I could say, how really crazy support memories can be. And there is a superhero category buffer, which would really make this go a lot easier, because all that extra defense on Beast and Evolution Blue Vegeta and some of these other characters would really help. Now, in this Kid Buu, the Kid Buu fight is really not too tough. Actually, I would say this is really quite easy with this category. Now, I did not bring Orange Piccolo. Orange Piccolo easily could be a great pick for this, but I was a little bit nervous of, you know, things could go really bad, and we could end up with, like, Orange Piccolo without his intro just in slot 1 towards the end of the fight, and he's dead. It's Jover. And Orange Piccolo, double Orange Piccolo is probably one of the best strategies for this fight. But when you're not able to specifically change rotations and shit like that, it would be very easy for certain characters, you know, to not really be as effective. One other reason bringing Orange Piccolo is really good for this fight specifically, though, is because it will give Beast Gohan his unit super attack, which means Beast Gohan's 18 key attack will actually connect with Kid Buu and he won't nullify it. LR Ultimate Gohan, by the way, is very good for this fight. You know, he is able to have some debuffs. If we're running full superhero, his active skill attack break can be very big. All right, potentially having, you know, killing the super attack and stuff like that. We do have LR Carnival Gogeta here. LR Carnival Gogeta, most of these runs in this video, believe it or not, only took one try. Like, I'm so serious. There was a few Trunks, Blue Gogeta, and Cell Max were the ones that weren't just like an instant W. Those are the ones that actually took just a couple of tries. And, you know, kind of maybe like, you know, changing like some different characters around as we see fit. So, okay, here's where, again, remember, auto is just going to auto do the active skills and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, we are going to be buffing Kid Buu. Kid Buu, of course, has the melee nullification. All the best units in the game, you know, Beast, UI, Evolution Blue Vegeta, these are the top 3 in the game, and they all have got melee attacks in there. So it's like, you know, Kid Buu is able to block a lot of the damage, but I mean, at the end of the day, like, these characters together are just way too strong. And the thing is, I mean, Cell Max is going to be able to take advantage of the same thing. But Beast is able to get his active skill out so fast. It's just, he really just takes control of the fight instantaneously. It's actually just so ridiculous how crazy the superhero category is. So there we go. We got the Kid Buu fight wrapped up. Again, pretty easy. I mean, Blue Kaioken, Goku, Evolution Blue Vegeta, like, you know, they could have been caught at a couple of points in this fight, right? STR Kid Buu could have killed us, but we are really just carrying such a busted-ass roster right here. So there we go. We have the Kid Buu fight, Red Zone Kid Buu fight. No items, full auto, no items. Really wasn't so bad. All right, so now we're going to go ahead and move on to Battlefield Metal Cooler. So I had to get this in here because Metal Cooler is a really nasty boss. You can't actually do auto in Battlefield. So what I do, I mean, I think people would find that this is valid, is I'm just emulating how, like, auto's behavior. So what I do is auto will do two things. It just, you know, keeps rotations exactly as is, and it'll just pop active skills as soon as it can, and it will go specifically for the most amount of key orbs we could get, right? That's what auto does. Now, Metal Cooler didn't super attack right away, so we're actually able to kind of, you know, get them to not die instantly. We actually got really, really bad luck with Blue Kaioken, Goku, Evolution, Blue Vegeta in slot 1. Now, what's funny is we almost do lose right here, because, okay, there's that. There's this. Now, watch this, dude. Metal Cooler dodges, like, the next 7 super attacks. It's so ridiculous. Dude, this is why, like, I had so many people who just, like, are jackasses, and they're like, well, just, you just stuttered, you just sealed. You just, yeah, no shit. But guess what? Metal Cooler can just dodge 50 attacks in a row. So Metal Cooler dodges God Goku's seal, and then the Gammas get super. By the way, this is the only run in the entire video where the LR Gammas are on the team. The LR Gammas aren't that good in base. They're solid, but base form Gammas are not that crazy. Auto does not do standby. So the Gammas in this challenge are stuck in base. That's why, if you guys notice, I did not use the Gamma standby right there, because auto does not trigger standbys. So the Gammas are stuck in base form, making them irrelevant, essentially, in, like, all these runs. Because base form, the Gammas and base are just not really that crazy. Their support and stuff like that is nice, but where the Gammas become a major impact is, you know, when you're, you know, getting into their standby and stuff like that. So understand that we do this, we clear all the hard fights full auto, and the Gammas are not on any. The only reason the Gammas are even relevant in this run right here is because right now, just as it happens, Metal Cooler is tech. So the Gammas have type advantage, right? Now this right here, this took me a second. I took this very serious. I wanted to make sure that I was doing this correctly. So I was actually counting the orbs right there. Because again, what auto does is it goes down the path that gives you the most orbs. And I believe rainbow orbs for them give them, I think it's 3 key. And then physical orbs give them 2 key. So I was just counting the key to make sure I took the correct path. Again, to emulate auto, even though I can't officially use auto in Battlefield. But this Metal Cooler fight is so toxic, which we, even with the best team in the game by far, we literally saw how toxic Metal Cooler can be. Where he just dodges 50. Apparently his dodge percent chance is 15%. Apparently, but I mean, he could dodge 50 attacks in a row. And he does it all the time to me. So there we go. But Battlefield Metal Cooler, at the end of the day, he's just yet another LR Beast Gohan victim. That's all he is. That's all anyone is in this game. Beast Gohan victim. Alright, so now we're going to move on to Supreme Battle Spectacle Trunks. This is a very difficult fight. And this is also a very difficult fight for this challenge, too. You know, because it's, I mean, Trunks in the second phase locks, which doesn't matter at all in this challenge since we're, you know, it's auto. Like we can't maneuver rotations around or anything like that anyway. But Trunks is one of the 3 million damage super attack bosses. So it's because, you know, typically on a normal run, you're not, like, we're not going to just waste the Beast Gohan active right away. We just save it for the 3 million super attack boss, and, you know, we clip their wings. They're not able to just completely one-shot us. The reason we win this one is because Gogeta, we got perfect Gogeta RNG. Gogeta starting in slot 3 is perfect RNG, because that means we'll have a turn 6 taunt from Gogeta, and I imagine we do get that here. I don't remember how this fight ends, but I imagine we get the Sword of Hope, and Gogeta's taunt wins us the fight, is what I'd imagine happens. That's another strength of the Heroes team, by the way. Beast Gohan completely dominates the beginning of all these fights, right? Because pretty instantaneously every time we're going to have his active skill. So we're going to see Beast Gohan active skill 50 times throughout this video. But, you know, we're going to get the Beast Gohan actives in pretty quickly, and then potentially we'd have a chance to revive with Evolution Blue Vegeta and EJL UI Goku. And then if we get very deep in the fight, then we'd have Gogeta's taunt as well. And then remember, it's fight specific. I mean, I do different lineups for some of these fights, right? Again, that's the one strength of the superhero team, is that we can really maximize, you know, character kits in fights that they could actually be good in. That's a problem that, like, at, like, the Super Bosses team, you know, you have a couple of kind of, like, options you could cycle out here and there, but you don't have just the overwhelming roster that, like, Superhero does, right? I mean, I don't use the 5th anniversary Blue Fusions in any run. And, I mean, you definitely could. It's going to be like this Gogeta, where, you know, we would want them probably specifically in... best RNG for the Blue Fusions would probably be if they were in slot 6. So they're in slot 3 of turn 2. And then they would come back on turn 5, 100% dodge turn 1. That would work in many of the fights that we do. That would actually be very effective. Right, like using that, but I didn't need to use the Blue Fusions for this run, so I didn't. I brought STR UI Goku in this fight here. STR UI Goku did have many deaths during this. I think I used them against Gogeta as well, and at least some of the attempts at Cell Max, I was using STR UI Goku. I don't know what it is, but STR UI Goku does just seem to die nonstop. He dies nonstop, man. Like, it's just, I can't, like, I'm not gonna take any efforts to defend that kid whatsoever, anything, but it's just, he just tends to die a lot. And then, yeah, sure enough, here we go. So we have it timed perfectly where we get to Sword of Hope Trunks, and Gogeta is just gonna wipe that shit away, right? This is why, in my opinion, to be one of the best characters in the game right now, you need to be able to do, not this right here, 1,000 characters can do this. Well, not 1,000. Literally, like, 50 characters could do this, just like an active skill attack. You need to be able to do this right here. This is inner circle level shit right here. So, Gogeta throws out huge damage attack, draws all attacks towards him, and then he has a 100% chance to dodge, winning us, clinching the fight. We won the fight off Gogeta's active skill. It's like only a few characters, Beast, Gogeta, I think Evolution Blue Vegeta and UI Goku's very, very easy revives can kind of count as well. And Orange Piccolo. And then, of course, the newest edition, LR Cell Max. That is the true inner circle of best characters in the game right now, who have these team protector abilities that it just puts them on a different level. Like, people will say, like, oh, I like Broly, and I like the Gammas, and I like this character, and I like that character. That's great, but they just don't control the fight like that. I'm sorry. That taunt shit is just, it's too broken. It's too broken. So there's Trunks. Trunks, again, Trunks did take a couple of tries. Very tough fight. Trunks is quite a tough fight. Okay, so next we're going to move on back over to the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone right here. And we're actually going to take down LR Super Buu. Now, I don't really do too many runs these days in the Super Buu fight, but I do think this is a legitimate fight. And I thought that this would be a good fight to use for this video, for like you know, the kind of runs that we're doing here. This opening phase is fodder. I mean, this guy is a comedian. You know, UI Goku, I mean, does this, yeah, and just suns his ass in 2 seconds. I mean, UI Goku is ridiculous, obviously. But then we're gonna get, you know, to whatchamacallit. We're gonna move right on to Super Buu. And then Super Boo is going to have the AoE super attack. By the way, Krillin and Android 18, I do use them here and there, mostly because there's 3 things they're doing. They're a dodge character with support, and they also do have an attack debuff. But it's mainly a dodge support character, because a character like LR Physical Ultimate Gohan and some of these characters, I mean, with a full auto run, we're just going to end, like, you know, Ultimate Gohan, if we ran him in the Gogeta Supreme Battle Spectacle fight, he's just going to end up in slot 1. Damn, he gets hit too. Holy hell. So, remember, Gohan has a beam nullification, which is why I brought him in here. LR Ultimate Gohan. LR Ultimate Gohan has a really bad fight. Holy shit. LR Ultimate Gohan, because he got smoked by that super attack, and okay, we'll see. No spoilers. Alright, so we use Orange Piccolo right here. People, like they want to just, like, pretend really badly that Orange Piccolo has fallen off. Like, I mean, if you would pull, I don't know, 8 out of 10 people, they say, like, yeah, Orange Piccolo's not that guy anymore, man. Well, no, actually, it's wrong. He actually still is. Orange Piccolo has, again, one of those, what I would define as inner circle, that's what I've been calling it, level abilities here, where he can completely control the fight. I guess, we're going to say this, though, Ribrianne's ability would count as well. Piccolo, a lot of times, does have a 3-turn transformation, but the 2-turn transformation does typically guarantee you're killing the boss's mechanics, though. As long as the boss does their stuff during the giant transformation, they can't use it once you leave the giant transformation, right? So, for example, Boo healed and did his AoE super attack already. So once we leave the giant transformation, he's expended those abilities. So, and that, it actually is stronger even than Beast, Cell Max, and Gogeta's taunts, because those won't stop Super Boo's AoE super attack or Fusion Zamasu's AoE attack either. Neither of those, like, those won't get stopped just by, like, Beast Gohan's active or something like that, right? We have to, you know, in order to stop an AoE attack, it's the giant transformation and stuff like that, which is actually going to get the job done. Now, depending upon the fight, remember that Orange Piccolo, or, well, I guess I should say Power Awakening Piccolo, and LR Ultimate Gohan, they do also have the ability to stun and attack debuff, both of them. They have those abilities that they can take advantage of if we would need. And again, with Orange Piccolo on the team, that means we do have the unit super attack available to us. The fight where we get the most value from that is against Kid Buu, though, and we didn't use Orange Piccolo against that. So I was almost very frustrated right here. So notice Super Boo's health bar. Then we get the Beast Gohan active skill on LR Ultimate Gohan. Still one of the best looking animations in the game. And this kid survives with a sliver of health. Ultimate Gohan in slot 1. He fails the nullification again. Did you see what happened, though? My dodge build kicked in, but then he just died to a normal anyway. But then UI Goku, who I would say Vegeta has the best revive in the game, but I do tend to see UI Goku's revive more often. So I don't know. I don't want to call UI Goku the best revive in the game, but I want to say it's Vegeta. But again, I do see UI Goku's revive more often for whatever reason. So I don't know. But there's Super Buu. Cooked him. That was an easy, effortless one try. Taking down the LR Super Buu Red Zone. Didn't really have trouble there. Now next, I could have skipped this one. I don't know that this needed to even be in here. But, I mean, I figured to really hammer home the point just of how dominant, again, LR Beast Gohan, but also the superhero category team, right? I mean, the video is not just Beast Gohan. Because, like, we've seen Gogeta's active won us a fight, right? UI Goku's revive won us that last fight, right? Like, these other Team Protector characters are going to be able to win us fights throughout these runs, right? But here we're fighting Fusion Zamasu. Unfortunately, though, the best character in the game turn 1 is AGL UI Goku, because he has 100% dodge. And, I mean, the thing is, AGL UI Goku, you know, if you have him turn 2, he could theoretically, you know, he'll have 100% dodge, and then the other character on the rotation dies, and then UI Goku can revive. Like, UI Goku is the best character in the game turn 1. Like, he's actually, because 100% dodge, I guess outside of a fight that cancels dodge, which we do a couple of fights in this video that do cancel dodge. I'll make sure to put the timestamps in the description. So, I mean, you guys could see which fights, you know, we actually take down and stuff like that. Orange Piccolo, of course, is very good for this fight. Funny enough, though, I mean, Fusion Zamasu turn 2. Orange Piccolo would have taken massive damage if Zamasu would have super attacked right away, right? Because, like, Piccolo didn't have a chance to get built up. Remember, Piccolo has to actually get hit in order to build up. Now, Evolution Blue Vegeta was in slot 7. He oftentimes can be, like, you know, for, like, Supreme Battle Spectacle Trunks or something like this, he could be a fine character to start out in slot 7 for us. Because remember, I mean, he is guarding with 50% damage reduction. Just, you know, immediately turn 1. So him in slot 7 in this challenge is actually super good for us. Pretty sure they get... No, they don't. Okay, it's UI Goku gets super attacked right here, but I think he dodges it. Yeah, in this video, UI Goku, I think, looks very, very good. AGL UI. He dominates throughout the whole run. There was, I do, Cell Max, I mean, I guess I could, I mean, what am I gonna say about Fusion Zamasu is fodder, man. Like, I almost grandfather claused Fusion Zamasu in here. But he's not challenging, like, he's a pussy compared to these other bosses. Cell Max is definitely the fight that gave me the most trouble, by far. It's not even close. Cell Max was actually took a lot of attempts. Everything else, even Blue Gogeta, you know, I got done within the first, you know, 3 or 4 attempts or something like that. Cell Max was the only one that was really difficult. I think UI Goku died at least once to Cell Max. But literally every character did. Evolution Blue Vegeta died against him. I had a Beast Gohan death against him. A lot of characters were dying against Cell Max. It was Cell Max is... I know this is a very specific challenge, right? Like auto. So it's like I literally, outside of picking the team, again, I have no influence on what's happening in these fights. But Cell Max is just, like, it's, yeah, man. Like, I don't, like, is he actually the hardest fight? Like, every once in a while, like, I feel like you could, it depends on my mood, you could talk me into it. Like, yeah, Cell Max, hardest fight. You might be. It's just, the thing about Cell Max is, I don't think you could really gimmick, like, you can't, like, just gimmick Gogeta Blue out of there. I guess, I mean, if you do, like, the full Ghost Usher team shenanigans, I'm sure, but you guys get what I'm saying. Like, Cell Max, you literally could bring, like, shitty units and just obliterate the Cell Max fight with, you know, because of the way it's designed, where you could stun lock them and seal them and attack debuff them and stuff like that, right? Whereas, obviously, you can't, I mean, you're not sealing Blue Gogeta. But there we go. I mean, again, Fusion Zamasu can't do anything. I mean, he can't do anything. Fusion Zamasu might be the weakest fight that we do in this video. I think for an auto run, probably was. Fusion's he just wasn't really able to compete. I don't know. It was very simple. All right, next we move on. We're going back to Supreme Battle Spectacle. We're going to Supreme Battle Spectacle Beast Gohan. This definitely, I mean, can be a very challenging fight. But the thing about this fight, specifically right here, I would more so define this fight as a noob stomping fight. Not speaking towards player skill, but more so the quality of character we're bringing. We're using the best team in the game by far. Like, Superhero is 3 times as good as any other team or some shit like that. Right? Like, there's no other team that's even within the realm of possibility of even mentioning in the same breath a Superhero. So, like, we have the horses to just blow Beast Gohan away instantly. Now, I do bring FCR Gamma 1 here. Gamma 1 is outstanding for this fight, because remember, Gamma 1 does have a melee counter nullification. And Beast Gohan at the end, that's exactly what he's doing, is he does melee super attacks. So we'll be able to take advantage of that. And hopefully have Gamma 1 get his counterattacks in. That's the one thing that did make the Artificial Lifeform mission bearable, the Beast Gohan Supreme Battle Spectacle Artificial Lifeform mission, is the fact that we're able to use Gamma 1, you know, he has key support, defensive support, and then again, he does have that nullification. Now, one thing that, you know, can be challenging, especially with some of these higher level Supreme Battle Spectacle fights, is the fact that this does happen right here, where we're going to end up using some of these really strong abilities, like the Beast Gohan actives and stuff like that, very early in the fight, where we really don't need to do it. But we are going to end up throwing it out anyway. Now, remember, Ultimate Gohan does have a Ki Blast nullification here. So, I believe... Wait, no, I think the final explosion is actually not a Ki Blast, right? Well, we're going to see right here. I think his final explosion actually does not count as a Ki Blast. So that means it should connect on Ultimate Gohan right here. I guess that's actually pretty good for Vegeta, that the final explosion. Yeah, it does not count, yeah, as a Ki Blast. That's good for him. I mean, sure. I guess if we fought an Evolution Blue Vegeta that used his active skill like that, like maybe that could be, you know, that's something that could probably trick people. They'd think that, oh, we'll be able to Ki Blast nullify him, but it's not going to work because that active of his is an other attack. All right, so after this, we're going to move on. Yep, there's the Ki Blast nullification. Again, they specifically made this fight, as I said, a noob stomping fight. Ultimate Gohan has the Ki Blast nullification. And then Beast right here. What it is if you do less than 3 million damage, you do 0 damage. Now, I think, yep, exactly. Okay, we got pretty lucky right there. So our Beast Gohan did his active skill. He would have tanked the enemy Beast Gohan super attack for double digits, but the enemy Beast Gohan super attack would have stunned us. I guess it is my Beast Gohan, so he could have 3-dodged it, but that probably wouldn't have happened. So we would have gotten stunned. That's one thing to keep in mind with Beast Gohan's taunt mechanic. This would go for Cell Max as well, where they will tank it, but they're going to get hit by a seal or a stun or whatever. Okay, so there's Gamma 1. That's the reason I brought Gamma 1. Exactly right there. He did 0 damage, but the damage is not really... it doesn't matter. The fact that he took, you know, double digits right there is all we really needed from Gamma 1, because next turn we're going to have... we have Gogeta's taunt available to us on this next turn, right? So it's just Gamma 1 doing that just allows us to secure our W. Yep, there's Gogeta's taunt. Again, in some of these tough fights, the blue Gogeta Supreme Battle Spectacle, Gogeta's taunt is really able to kind of close the fight for us, which is really good. Now, sometimes there is a lot of RNG in where Carnival Gogeta starts out on our rotations. If he starts out in slot 7, like, that's worse. Like, we're not going to get the taunt. It's impossible to get the taunt. If he's in slot 7, it's, like, impossible to get the taunt, because we wouldn't be able to do the taunt until... it would be... So if he starts out in slot 7, turn 5, turn 7, he'd go blue, and it'd be like turn 10. We'd be able to use the taunt on turn 10 if he started out in slot 7, which is just the worst, of course. So, there we go. Supreme Battle Spectacle, Beast Gohan. We went ahead and torched him. Wasn't really that bad. I think this did take an attempt or two, but it was nothing super crazy. Now, I did want to make sure to get one of these stages in here from the second movie Red Zone. This is the final fight in there, Golden Frieza. I don't really consider Golden Frieza to be a terribly tough fight. I do think this is a real fight. Golden Frieza is, you know, a 2 million super attack boss. If a boss is doing 2 million damage, they're a legitimate threat, right? Even to, you know, a lot of the best characters in the game. So, any boss that's supering for 2 million plus, I mean, they're not on the level of the 3 million super bosses, obviously, but it's a legitimate fight. Like, people are so quick to, like, you know, so understand, we just autoed every single tough fight, right? Like, that's what this video is. Every single one of these tough fights, the boogeymen of the game, we just auto all these bastards. But that doesn't mean these fights are easy. It's just, the point here is not, hey, free-to-play player, I'm looking down on you, dumb bitch. The game is actually so easy, get good. That's not the point. The point is Superhero is so OP. Look how busted the team is. You literally don't need to play. The team is so broken, I'm not even playing. I just have my characters rainbowed. I've got them link leveled. I have them with good equips, and I built teams with character strengths for the specific fights, right? Like, this player skill, shit like that has nothing to do with this. The whole point is just that Superhero is actually just that busted. So, I've seen a lot of people use Superhero to kind of like say things like, oh, this fight wasn't really that tough. Well, yeah, no shit. The Superhero team can auto the fight, man. Like, that doesn't mean that the fight is easy or anything. It's this is the strength level here. Now, I was very comfortable bringing Orange Piccolo into this fight, because when Orange Piccolo's intro wears off, he's going to have type advantage against Golden Frieza. Golden Frieza is AGL. There is the final phase against Tech Golden Frieza, but he's kind of like a gimmick countdown boss. Again, as I would say, he's a gimmick, right, that Golden Frieza. And he does not really... he's not tough, period. Golden Frieza. So, because it's like, you have to kill him in 2 turns, or else he does his crazy countdown super attack. But, I mean, again, we're using superhero, so it's not like, oh guys, careful, like, we're really gonna have to sell out to do damage. Like, Golden Frieza doesn't have that much HP. Right, like there could be other bosses that would have a tremendous amount of HP or something like that. But like Golden Frieza is not really built like that. Again, remember this Golden Frieza, he does do a lot of damage. Like, yep, there's another dude. The bosses throughout this video have been aiming for UI Goku. I mean, it makes sense because I mean UI Goku would die to that super. I'm pretty sure he would take like 900k, I think. But like, you know, it's just. UI Goku's just that good. Like, I don't know what to say. Again, keep in mind that with Piccolo on rotation, that does allow us to, as you guys can see, get the Beast Gohan unit super attack. So this was a fight where Gogeta was in slot 7, huh? So again, we wouldn't be able to get his active taunt until turn 10. Because the reason is he'll be able to transform finally on the next turn, but he's going to get floated off. And then he'll come back on turn 10 in slot 1, and then that's where we'll be able to use his active skill. So, it's like, that's... Because, remember, Gogeta has the very unfortunate, terribly designed, horribly designed mechanic of it's not, you know, 4th turn from the start of battle, Gogeta can transform. It's 4th turn from the start of turn. Somehow, on turn 7, we have Beast Gohan's active up, too, by the way, which is really... sometimes, if we get, like, a rotation... where we have, like, Beast Gohan in, like, slot 5 and a Beast Gohan in slot 6. We could kill the boss phase before, like, the Beast Gohan in slot 6 is able to get hit. And then all of a sudden we have the Beast Gohan active on, like, turn 7 or something like that. That could... I think we might do that against Blue Gogeta in our winning Blue Gogeta run. Maybe. We'll see. We'll get there. We'll get there. Gogeta's still not coming up quite yet. We're going to go into a different fight before that. But there was Golden Frieza. Again, Golden Frieza wasn't really challenging. One try, very easy. I did want to include this fight right here. This is Supreme Battle Spectacle. Blue Kaioken Goku. I figured that this was an important fight to get in here because this is a 1-phase fight and he cancels dodge. So, with him canceling dodge, I felt like it was very important to get that in here, right? So, we obviously take Mastered UI Goku off the team, since he can't dodge in here. And remember, it's only 1 phase against this Blue Kaioken Goku. He does, and often will, super attack twice per turn. So that's something that we have to understand. And again, we can't dodge. So dodging, shenanigans, stuff like that doesn't work. You kind of just have to tank Blue Kaioken Goku. This is another fight that I think I probably could do more showcases in. Because it's, you know, it's kind of a unique fight in that it's a 1-turn, like a 1-phase fight that cancels dodge. Right now, I in my opinion, one of these fights, Gogeta or Trunks or Beast, one of these big fights should have canceled dodge. I think that they let dodge kind of go unchecked. They need to have fights that cancel dodge cycle in here. Again, a lot of people don't actually understand my true thoughts on dodge. It's kind of just like, you know, like my reputation precedes me and they just, you know, like, again, they don't really get the way I think of it. But I think Dokkan does need to kind of like keep it in check a little bit. Like, I do think that they let the mechanic be a little bit too strong, actually. Now, here's a character. Is this the first run we're using him in? No, we were using Tech God Goku against Golden Frieza in the last fight as well, too. But Tech God Goku is a character we can run in some of these fights. Now, Tech God Goku is still pretty good. But unfortunately, he's only pretty good. Like, Tech God Goku had numerous deaths for me against Cell Max. Because, dude, there was a guy, like, it was earlier this year, right? It was in, like November or December or something like that. Someone tweeted, like, oh, you know, the movie bosses are, you know, that come out in 2024 are scared of Tech God Goku. And then I replied to it like, well, no, because the 2022 bosses could still do damage to God Goku. Now these 2024 bosses are going to be super in for 1 billion. And I remember, there's always, like, random comments that will always strike out to me. And one guy said, someone doesn't know what he's talking about. God Goku is able to tank everything. Well, no, he doesn't. Because, again, Cell Max and the bosses of this caliber are able to just torch him. Even through his damage reduction... Oh, we did use God Goku against Metal Cooler, Battlefield Metal Cooler as well. But remember, he does have that damage reduction against pure Saiyan enemies and movie bosses enemies. So, against those two... I mean, God Goku is pretty good for this challenge because he's a high defense character with a good link set that's rainbow orb changing, and he seals... The seal, specifically, is good against both Cell Max and the Metal Cooler Battlefield fight. So we can take advantage of that. By the way, you know, a lot of this video, I guess there are huge chunks where we are kind of stuck watching Orange Piccolo. I did this, you know, all these auto runs, I guess, with the animations on. Maybe I didn't need to have the animations on, but I felt like it's just much more thematic and probably feels better. With us actually having these, like, kind of like animations, stuff like that playing. So, I certainly wouldn't say I regret having the animations play, but, I mean, in the case of, like, this guy right here, this is one reason a lot of people don't like him, is because this. Like, it's like, you know, he's able to do a little bit of damage here and there, but for the most part, this is a defensive ability. Not an offensive ability. Although my Orange Piccolo is built full offense, which you guys could see, he's getting, he is getting a fair amount of crits right here. But even getting all these crits, I mean, it's just like, you know, like, one Beast Gohan triple crit is doing more damage than, like, 3 turns of Orange Piccolo. Now, Blue Kaioken, Goku and Evolution Blue Vegeta, they're a very, very good character. We use them, you know, quite a bit throughout the video. But they're also a character that could just die so easily, because you can't really run them in slot 1. I do have quite a bit of cheeky dodge on Blue Kaioken and Evolution Blue Vegeta, so certainly that does help, but it's not enough to, like, be super reliable, depending upon the actual fight that we go into. So there's Supreme Battle Spectacle, Blue Kaioken Goku done. Next, I did want to include this fight as well. Omega Shenron, we're in the Shadow Dragon event against the Omega Shenron fight. I probably didn't need to include this one as well. Just the same way Fusion Zamasu probably didn't need to be in here. Omega Shenron also probably didn't need to be in here. But again, I understand that Global has been treated very unfairly. And it just does suck, like, kind of like using a lot of these characters designed for the 9th anniversary meta and kind of being forced to run them against, like, Omega and Fusion Zamasu. It's a good thing that the Majin Buu Saga Red Zone came out, and it's a good thing that several of those fights are interestingly designed or very competitive, because it does allow, you know, global players to have, like, an actual testing ground for their characters. But I did want to jump in here and kind of obliterate this Omega Shenron fight, which we do. I mean, we absolutely torch this kid. I mean, what is that, a 1-turn? Remember that opening phase right there does cancel dodge, but like, it kind of doesn't really matter when we just insta-kill his ass, basically. And then we get this rotation right here, double Beast Gohan. That's a very well-timed AoE, because that AoE is going to give both Beast Gohans their guaranteed additional super attack right there, right? So now both Beast Gohans get the guarantee, because Beast Gohan gets a guaranteed additional super when he gets hit. It's kind of a similar thing that Cell Max has, the Yellow Coin LR Cell Max, although he needs to get hit with an enemy super attack, and then he does a guaranteed super, whereas Beast Gohan just needs to get hit, and then he does a guaranteed super. So just the 2 Beast Gohans mostly take away most of this guy's HP. As you guys can see, we 1-turned the initial Tech Omega Shenron phase, And then guess what we do right here? We one-turn this phase as well. Again, EGLUI Goku is, so far watching this back, he looks like one of the most impressive characters in this video, does he not? EGLUI Goku has dominated this video so far. So this is a fight where we could bring Vegeta and Trunks. Now, Vegeta and Trunks are probably not intended to start the fight against this Omega Shenron with like 0 stacks like this, but I mean, that's, you know, kind of what ended up happening. So here we are, right, slot 1 against, you know, the Omega Shenron. If he super attacked right away, he might have been able to really potentially cook us. Like, they can do good against this Omega Shenron, but not, like, right away like that. Like, where they had no chance to build up, no stacks previously. I believe Omega super attacks in slot 3 here, actually, against Blue Kaioken, Evolution Blue Vegeta. But they're able to actually just eat this very, very well. Remember that they're just generally a very good character, but they are going to get extra damage reduction per Rainbow Orb, and plus they do have, obviously, true type advantage against Omega, so they're fine right here. So now we have Gogeta transform into, you know, our Carnival Blue Gogeta self right there. And then we have the Beast Gohan active skills as well. Funny enough, Omega has an AoE here as well. Remember that the taunt mechanic, the target mechanic, does not work on AoEs, but that will work to our benefit because that AoE is going to hit the other Beast Gohan, and both are going to get their guaranteed additional supers again. Remember that the way the target mechanic, taunt mechanic works is whichever one was used last is the active one. So, you guys know the way auto works. It'll just use the active skills from left to right. So right now, the friend Beast Gohan popped his active skill, then my Beast Gohan popped the active skill immediately afterwards, right? So my Beast Gohan is the one that actually has it triggered. And then, of course, the AoEs are going to hit all the characters. Gogeta, of course, doing his thing with the dodge. And then the friend Beast Gohan, I mean, he's going to double-digit tank everything anyway. Beast Gohan is just not a character that can be challenged by this Omega Shenron fight. It is crazy. I mean, this fight is not even a year old. And, like, look, again, Omega is kind of just like a helpless puppy in this fight. There wasn't really... Again, I guess that he had a split-second window where he could have potentially killed Vegeta and Trunks since they started out in slot 7, but didn't end up really being that bad for us. There we go. So there is Omega Shenron taken down. We clapped his cheeks pretty effectively and pretty easily there. So there we go. Oh, that's actually my record there. Okay, funny enough. Yeah, the auto record. Gotta love that. All right, so now we're going to move into, one of the stronger fights in the game. We only have, I believe, 2 fights left, yeah. So the rest of this video is only 2 fights. So we're going into Supreme Battle Spectacle Blue Gogeta. I was pretty concerned about this, just because this fight is pure RNG. It's not, okay. STR Gogeta, the base Gogeta, and Tech Super Saiyan Gogeta, both are capable of hitting really damn hard. They'll do a ton of damage, right? Like, for example, I think, like, Cell Max, like, if he gets tagged by the Tech Super Saiyan Gogeta, I mean, unless Cell Max was in, like, Slot 7 or something like that, I think that Tech Gogeta should be able to do tremendous damage to Cell Max, unfortunately. So, that's kind of a thing that, like, Beast Gohan isn't really going to be affected by. But once we get to Blue Gogeta towards the end of this fight, it's just pure RNG on what he does. Remember, he sometimes can AoE multiple times per turn. The thing about Blue Gogeta is from the second he super attacks, your chances of survival are very slim, because his normals begin to hit so hard after Gogeta super attacks. It's ludicrous how hard Gogeta hits on all of his attacks. Now, we are using this another fight where we're using Krillin and Android 18. I just really wanted to try and get as many characters who could handle themselves against Gogeta at the end. I was willing to, you know, take deaths early in this fight with Krillin and 18 getting destroyed or STRUI Goku getting destroyed. But, you know, it's, you know, when it comes down to like a challenge like this or something like that, like, you know, I'm not a fan of the Krillin and 18 card. You know, even STRUI Goku, I'm not really going to cape for super hard. I know people hate STRUI Goku as a character. People typically tend to hate. But, like, that dodge ability that those two characters have is kind of really important. Now, remember, there's two other things Krillin and Android 18 are doing besides just dodging. They have the multiple turn support, which is, of course, very good. But they do also debuff, which this fight, starting from right now, base Gogeta, Super Saiyan Gogeta, and Blue Gogeta, all three of them can be attack debuffed. So Krillin and Android 18 can actually get some effect there. Now, we do one turn Gogeta, it looks like right here. Do Krillin and 18 kill him? I think they probably will. But their support, of course, plays a big hand in something like that. Wow, yeah, we got an additional, and they were actually able to finish off. Then we get to Tech Gogeta, but guess what? We still have Gohan's, one of his target mechanics right here. So he'll be able to do massive damage. This Gogeta is very scary because it's very often, very common for this Gogeta to double super. That's something that you will see all the time. Is this Gogeta firing off 2 super attacks per turn. It really is quite frustrating sometimes to deal with bosses that can double super like that. It can be quite annoying, right, for sure. Alright, so Beast Gohan, able to absolutely just terrorize him. Does UI Goku finish Gogeta off right here? I'm actually not sure. I don't remember. No, he doesn't. Okay. Is that good or bad for us? That's probably bad, actually. This would have been a better first turn against Blue Gogeta, looking at it, right? Because we would have Beast Gohan's active, plus we have Evolution Blue Vegeta's revive up. I don't remember this next turn. I see the way this is playing out. We're going to have to live one turn against Blue Gogeta without a active or something like that, right? Yeah, wow, we actually just lived this turn. This is crazy. Yeah, the reason I bought Krillin and 18 and STRUI Goku, this is it right here. This is the reason they're here, is because I foresaw this happening. A lot of the other superhero characters we could bring in this exact situation, you know, LR Ultimate Gohan, Power Awakening Piccolo, right? Like a lot of Vegeta and Trunks, at the Blue Fusions by this point, like all those characters are just dead here. Like we needed like those dodge type characters. And then not only did we need those dodge type characters, but they have to hit basically all their dodges. Because it's like, people think you could just debuff this Gogeta and you're good. And that's not how it works. Like, yeah, you could debuff him and, you know, it's gonna help a bit for sure. And it's gonna raise your chances to survive a little bit for sure. But Gogeta just hits too hard, too fast most of the time. To where debuffing is not like, you know, some game clinching ability or something like that. Now, we get to the final turn right here, and Gogeta's target mechanic, his taunt, again, does kind of clinch the fight for us. We do still have to survive Gogeta's AoE. Yep, there's another... Dude, UI Goku throughout this video. How good did UI Goku look throughout this video, man? Absolutely crazy. So many turns where he just goes absolutely nuts. He survives so many super attacks, stuff like that. Wow, really good. But then Gogeta was huge. That's the Trunks fight and the Blue Gogeta Supreme Battle Spectacle fight, where Blue Gogeta really, really had a huge hand in it. So, all right, there's that. There is one more fight we do. This is the only one that actually kind of provided difficulty. This is stage 2 of Cell Max. Every other fight was done. I think the Gogeta fight took 5 or 4 attempts. This, I don't, it was a lot. It was a lot. This was brutal. To be fair though, I had a ton of runs lose with Cell Max having less than 1 health bar. Like, I have a ton of runs where it's like, that was, I specifically remember AGL UI Goku got killed right at the very end, right when we were going to win one time. Krillin and 18, I mean, they just have so many deaths in this when I was doing this. They died like 10 times or something like that. But the thing about this is, you know, even though Krillin and 18, they're, you know, a character that's going to die a lot and it's going to be shitty, this fight is actually so tough that there aren't a ton of better options. I was even considering maybe trying Int Mai, believe it or not, in here. Maybe it's for her stun. But the problem is it just takes so long to get to the point where Cell Max can be stunned that it's not like a feasible strategy considering we're doing auto. Right, I can't pick my rotations. And this fight goes on so long, too. I think, like, the 5th anniversary Blue Fusions, we could have taken a flyer out on them. And, you know, again, if they had... the Tech God Goku slot right there, if they were in that slot, you know, they would have come back with 100% dodge, stuff like that. But Cell Max, he just hits too hard, man. Like, it's like Tech God Goku, you guys don't understand. Tech God Goku gets damn near one-shot by Cell Max. Like, I'm serious. Like, Tech God Goku, towards the end of the fight, Cell Max will super Tech God Goku for 600k damage, is what he was typically supering him for. And then normals after that would do like 150k damage to God Goku. So I had God Goku slot 1 on like turn 7, turn 8, like ready to, you know, getting close to winning a couple of times. And Cell Max just eradicated God Goku. Goodbye. Just get insta-killed, kid. Because God Goku, I mean, he is good, but I mean, he's not that good. Like, right? Like, it's like he's a good option to bring, but you can't just assume that he's an invincible, untouchable man, because he's not. One thing, I mean, I will say this, and I'm not even doing this jokingly, but it is nice that Tech God Goku is capable of tanking normals very consistently. When Cell Max supers him, that's not the case, because remember, towards the end of the fight, when Cell Max super attacks, not only does he buff his own damage, his own stats, but he debuffs your defense as well. So he's buffing himself while debuffing you. That's one reason that Cell Max is just so devastating towards the end of the fight. And with Superhero, like, you know, we don't have LR Buhan, who is definitely one of the most effective characters in this fight, because LR Buhan has the 5-turn seal, right? Like, you know, God Goku could super attack Cell Max and get a seal on him, which is very helpful. Very good for us, very helpful, but it's only a 2-turn seal. Like, it's not like once God Goku hits Cell Max, he's just perma seal locked. It's not, it doesn't work that way. So that's something that is kind of unfortunate, right? We have to really make good use out of all the mechanics in here. Gogeta's taunt, the Beast taunts, UI Goku or Vegeta are going to have to get one of their revives off. I mean, remember, once one of them gets their revives off, whoever revives is untouchable. UI Goku will have 100% dodge, or Vegeta will be guarding with the huge damage reduction. Either could be very good. Alright, so let's see how this very difficult fight is going to wrap up here. Again, there's not really too many other options that we could have really rocked in this fight. Most of them would have just been in real danger. I mean, it's pretty obvious why, like, LR Ultimate Gohan, like, I didn't try and use him. I mean, he ends up in slot 1 one time, he ends up dying. What happens in this fight, too, what I've noticed is Cell Max's behavior does drastically change as the fight progresses. At the start, if you guys look out for this, you'll see it. At the start of the fight, Cell doesn't seem to pressure slot 1 that much at the start of the fight. It's weird. Like, he's kind of a boss, the only boss I can think of that really doesn't do that. But then towards the end of the fight, Cell Max will typically put very heavy pressure on slot 1 towards the end of the fight, and that's where things get very devastating too, because towards the end of the fight is when, again, Cell Max is doing, it's like a 3 million damage super, basically, when after he buffs himself, plus he's also debuffing you. So it's like Cell Max is just doing everything. His damage, it's like a lot of times if he's just supering you before you get a chance to attack, even a lot of the best tanks are really going to be taking huge damage unless you're going to, you know, use your own Cell Max taunt or Beast Gohan's taunt, or, you know, you have Evolution Blue Vegeta post-revive or something like that. So we're deep enough in the fight right here that we do actually have Evolution Blue Vegeta's revive up. Gogeta is transforming. Unfortunately, this was a run where Gogeta was in slot 7, huh? So with Gogeta being in slot 7, again, that means we're not going to be able to use his taunt until turn 10. There's Evolution Blue Vegeta. That's like that type of damage that he's capable of taking. That's just why, like, I do think Beast clears Vegeta by quite a bit. And it's just like Vegeta's capability of taking like that much damage. You don't really see that from Beast. I know people could say, well, oh, you had him in slot 1, or oh, we revived anyway. True, but like we could have not had the revive up there and we were smoked. You know, like it's Vegeta does have that capability of taking damage that, I mean, outside of really intentionally sabotaging Beast, you're not going to see him take 1,000,000 plus. Like that is so crazy. So keep in mind, towards the end of the fight, Krillin 18, man, they died so many times for me. But they do have debuffs capable. Now, this is really at the end of the fight right here, so we could see how much Beast would take. His intro... Okay, no super attack right away. So Beast's intro is, you know, off right here. So we would see how he would look, again, without having his intro up. And no active skill up either. He doesn't have either of those abilities. All right, now Vegeta is not going to take damage. Because remember, Vegeta did just revive, right? So Vegeta is going to have access right now to his guard plus damage reduction. Which means Cell Max should not be able to touch him really at all. I think UI Goku will probably just kill. Does he just kill right here? Maybe not. Remember that Cell Max does have, what is it? It's minus 40%. Wow, UI Goku took double digits right there. I saw that. But Cell Max, I believe he takes 40% less damage from AGL characters. It's something along those lines. I consider it like an anti-Broly mechanic, is what I really think it is. But there we go. There is the challenge completed. We went through basically all the tough fights in the game with the superhero team. You know, full, like, no item, auto, like, no support memory, nothing. I mean, there's a couple of other fights we could have added to it, but I felt like we knocked down all of the major fights, and I was able to get Battlefield Metal Cooler in here as well. So let me know what you guys think of LR Beast Gohan, plus the overall strength of the superhero roster, Evolution Blue Vegeta, UI Goku, Blue Gogeta, the whole team, superhero gaps, everything.